We are part of an unprecedented event on Facebook Live today, and it's all in honor of Harry Chapin, his 75th birthday anniversary, and of course for the Harry Chapin Foundation. Please go up on betterplacetobe.org. We've got a matching gift of $5,000 that we'd love to get to because we love to raise the money to support all the projects that Harry Chapin, Sandy Chapin care so deeply about. So we'll double the impact of your support today when you do call in, when you do write in to us. And we are taking calls, and we'll talk about that later in terms of any of your reaction to what we're doing here today, because this really is a remarkable effort on the part of volunteers like Mike Grayed and others. They are just doing a yeoman's job of using this new technology for old purposes, meaning that hunger is still with us. It's still, and we have got to fight it. And Harry said to us, dedicate yourself, find purpose and find meaning. And if he were alive today, given the times that we're in, he would be yelling from the rafters that we have got to do something. And I'll tell you, there are people out there who are still doing that yeoman's work. And one of them you're going to meet right now, David Miller, is with us. David, how are you? I love all the memorabilia behind you.
Hi, Larry. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing well. Yeah, the shot worked out perfect. That I just happened to already have that memorabilia hanging behind me. It's good that it's there, and I'm glad I'm able to be on with you today. And thank you for having me on as your guest.
Well, tell us what it is that motivated you to do videos and to continue the work of Harry Chapin, to be part of the hunger efforts that he started. Tell us all about it.
Right. Well, I grew up in Huntington, Long Island, born and raised. I did graduate high school in 1982 with Jason Chapin. John O. Chapin was just a year ahead of us. He graduated in 81, and my sister actually graduated with Jamie. So very familiar with the family. At a very young age, obviously what grabbed me first was Harry's music. I was a big fan of Taxi and certainly Cats in the Cradle. Just unbelievable that all these years later, it still is popping up on TV commercials, and you'll be sitting at home watching a TV show, and it's entwined into a television show. So really still amazingly popular. So it was really the music that grabbed me at first. And then, and Harry certainly would perform at the high school that I graduated from. I mean, Harry had done several shows up at Huntington High School, and even with Pete Seeger there and Tom. So really, what then grabbed me after the music was the fact of Harry's involvement. I mean, it was so unprecedented that somebody would be so engaged and care so much about so many people. And it was really Harry's engagement with people in general, just from the energy of his concerts to staying after his shows to meet people, sign autographs. And I remember even, Sandy would tell me stories that, they lived at a dead end street down in Huntington Bay, on Long Island. And you constantly would see, they would see people out there or people driving by. And Harry had no problem telling people to come on in the house, or he'd go out and say hello. It's just the person that he was. And I think that's really what captured me, was just his willingness to be out there and wanting to make a difference. And I think the biggest thing that stayed with me was that Harry wanted to matter, and what drove him, what fueled him. And when you look at songs like Circle, it was all about bringing people together. It was that life was a circle. It was that everybody, it wasn't about me or I, it was a we society. And that's really what Harry pushed, and was very, very engaging, and made you want to get involved.
How did you reconcile the notion that he was a hometown hero? He was your local guy, but he was a national figure and had great stature and had really helped to start this commission on hunger. Of course, had #1 hits, had Grammy nominations, was on Broadway. How did you reconcile? But he was just down the street and as accessible as anybody could be.
Right. I mean, and Harry's presence was just so commanding. And I remember as a young child, being in a small little pizza shop in Southdown Pizza, and Harry was in there, getting pizza and feeding the kids at the table, and I was at the next table with my family. I remember, seeing him in town, seeing him up at the high school, and so it was very unique and really kind of getting your head around, all of that, and especially as the hits kept coming and what have you. And then I guess that was pretty much what really brought it into focus. Unfortunately, when Harry passed in 1981, we're going into our senior year at high school at that point, and I remember, my guidance counselor saying, well, to graduate, you have some classes you have to take. And I said, well, you need something in English. And I said, okay, well, what do we have? And she said, well, there's a film and short story class. It's 1 credit. I said, all right, that sounds easy. I'll take that class. Senior year, I kind of wanted to coast, right? And so I went ahead, I signed up for the course. And first day, the teacher says, the end of this semester, you're going to either have to write a short story or make a film. And I went, oh boy. So what do I do? So pretty quickly, it came to me that I would do a film on Harry's life. And it was less than a year after he had passed. And started putting all of that, pulling all of that together, reading more in depth and going to the library and studying more about Harry's life and the things that he was involved in, and just became really, really engaging. And although I worked on the project in my senior year, it carried on through college. I mean, this started in basically 81, and really I didn't finish everything to where it is today until 1984. So there's quite a bit of engagement on my own part, and really wanting to finish the project, all the way through beyond, graduation. So
let me ask you about WhyHunger. I mean,
yeah.
You did that film, which is incredible in and of itself, even though you thought it was a gut, but it wasn't. It's hard. And Harry was a documentary filmmaker himself, so I'm sure he would have had some thoughts about what you did. But tell us about WhyHunger for you.
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet Bill Ayers at a very young age, and I remember having the ability to take the train into New York City, Huntington, because Bill lived there as well. Was at the office, got the opportunity to meet a lot of the staff members, and this was way back. And I actually wound up getting involved with Long Island Cares first. Served on their board, I think it was around 1984, for a number of years. And from there, I wound up going to work for Hard Rock Cafe International in New York City in 2002. And the first phone call I made when I got into New York City was to Bill. And I said, Bill, I'm working in New York City, and we have to do something together. And Bill said, absolutely. So within a week, we scheduled a lunch together. Bill and I got together and we began to brainstorm. And we had a lot of different ideas. And some of those things didn't stick right away. We were trying to get some momentum, but didn't get a whole lot. But some small things started to take place. But then some real larger projects started to take off for us. And Hard Rock has an annual signature series T-shirt where they have artists that design shirts to help raise money for charity. And Bill and I spoke and said, well, it's probably a long shot to get Springsteen to do a shirt. It's really not something that Bruce would do from a commercial standpoint. But Bill was successful in speaking to Bruce to do that. And Bruce designed a shirt. It was produced at Hard Rocks around the world. And it broke the record for Hard Rock and raised over $1 million for WhyHunger. So that was a tremendous effort.
Oh, that's fantastic.
From there, that actually spilled into the utilization of the Imagine campaign with Yoko Ono and the likes of John Lennon. And that campaign went on for several years with WhyHunger, Hard Rock International, and was able to raise about $6.8 million over the life of that program. So, I think back to Harry Belafonte in 1986, the American Music Awards, making the paying tribute to Harry and accepting the award for We Are the World, and mentioning that Harry was someone that basically threw a pebble into a pond and created a ripple. and you look at the ripple effect, right? And my own involvement and all these things of how things evolved over time, and being able to engage Hard Rock. I mean, WhyHunger, we started small projects just in New York, and that expanded out to where Hard Rock internationally global took on WhyHunger as their charitable partner. So much more became of that, and then the likes of a Springsteen involved, John Lennon, Yoko Ono involved, and it just continued to spiral. So that ripple effect that Harry Belafonte spoke about with Harry and his involvement in the world continues on. I mean, 36 years later, and we're all still involved. We have all these guests on today to share their memories. We have tons of fans out there that are calling in and engaging onto the Facebook page today. And I've been very fortunate in the last 10 years where, Jason Chapin finally picked up the phone, gave me a call and said, last couple of years, you've just been working your tail off to raise money for Long Island Cares and WhyHunger. I want to give you the opportunity to give some money away, and asked me to join the board of the Harry Chapin Foundation. And again, just an honor to be able to be a part of that and help to continue Harry's legacy and continue to help support the organization.
Well, David, you have been imbued with the energy of Harry around all these causes. You are an embodiment of what he was talking about brought to 2017. We can't thank you enough for all that you've been doing, continue to do, hearing that enthusiasm today and helping to encourage others. Thank you so much, David, and continued good luck and good works, okay?
I appreciate that. Thanks. And thanks again for having me on today. And happy birthday, Harry.
Wonderful. Better place to be. I can't think of a better place to be, but don't forget, you can go to betterplacetobe.org. There are wonderful ways for you to connect with us. And I know you're all trying to connect and engage and respond, and we appreciate that. And everything that you're doing, we want you to continue to do. However, we want you to take one additional step, and that is to make a pledge today. We have some incredible thank you gifts. We've got a rare collections pack for a pledge of $75 to thank you, and it's got all kinds of materials that are associated with Harry's great career. We've also got a tribute pack, and that's got tribute DVD and CD, the Congressional Medal. You'll have a replica of that, the fan pack, and we've got so many other items, the limited edition print, a photo of Harry's original typewriter with the original draft of Taxi lyrics. We have got a wonderful thing that Jim Lennon did, a beautiful sepia picture for a pledge of $35. But just go up and take a look at all of that and do whatever it is that you can do today to be a part of this incredible event live on Facebook. We'll be back with Bill Ayers shortly here. Later, Harry Belafonte. You're going to meet so many other wonderful people along the line. So stay with us as much as you can or come in and out, but make certain that we'll be a good backdrop to your day for the entire day to celebrate Harry's 75th.